Well Christ, I'm back at last. Only been what, 4 or so months? Ha ha. Anyway, let's not wait around. Let us get into the review with these simple words. Earthworm Jim is awesome. Earthworm Jim HD sucks balls. Now if that doesn't paint the tone of this review, then I don't know what will. For those of you out there who don't know what Earthworm Jim is, man, you are missing out. Developed by Shiny Games and released in 1994 onto the Sega Mega Drive and later other consoles, Earthworm Jim is a great example of how great 16-bit platformers can be. Fluid animation, responsive controls, catchy music, and full of personality and humour, Earthworm Jim has met with very positive reception. And damn did it deserve it! A year later, a sequel was released, funnily enough called Earthworm Jim 2, which increased everything in the game to 11. Still has great animation and music, only with more guns to blow stuff up with. Then in 1999, Jim made the jump to 3D in Earthworm Jim 3D for the N64 and PC, though this time made by Viz Entertainment and not Shiny. Though nowhere near as good as the first two due to crappy camera and some generally bad design choices, I still enjoy it sometimes, though this was the last major Earthworm Jim game for 11 years. Then boom! 2010 comes along and Earthworm Jim HD comes out. Hell yeah! And then I saw that Gameloft made it. It's a long story, but I don't like Gameloft, mostly because of what they did to this game. Let's start with probably one of the best parts of the original, the animation. It had a very unique style to it where the animators would first draw the sprites and animate them on paper and then recreate it on a computer. The result was incredible animation and a nice cartoony aesthetic to the game. Not to mention the character of Jim himself, who can go from total badass to doing something funny at a flick of a switch. Okay, so Earthworm Jim HD. Oh god. Oh god! It looks so horrible! What's wrong with Jim's head and where's most of the animation gone? You! Okay, I'll give HD some credit that it is colourful and the levels and backdrops do look pretty goddamn amazing. But it's the sprites that really suffer. Look how long his head is and how wide his eyes are. And in some frames of animation he looks freaking retarded. Also the enemies look a bit off too. I don't know what it is about them, but they look like something out of a Flash animation, not a video game. So to conclude, amazing looking backgrounds, levels and particle effects. Absolutely crap pretty much everywhere else. Moving forward to the actual gameplay, you would have hoped that Gameloft would be able to both emulate and improve on Earthworm Jim's gameplay, so that all other flaws in the game could be overlooked. Well, if that was true, then I wouldn't have made a whole paragraph complaining about the freaking graphics, would I? Instead of just using the original code and tweaking it, Gameloft created their own code from scratch. Now this is good and bad. On the good side, it shows commitment on Gameloft's part, and shows they are willing to put time and effort into creating a game. On the downside, it's not as good as the original. Jim feels slower and heavier, making him more of an arse to control. The way whipping works is altered slightly, meaning that you may go for a whip and miss. Generally, the game feels more unpolished. It doesn't move as seamlessly as the original, let's just leave it at that. While the gameplay isn't necessarily bad and the controls are quite nice, in actual fact the ability to change weapon was a good inclusion, Gameloft, it just isn't as fun to play as the original. However, one area where I do have a right to bitch about the controls are the flying parts. Jim moves way too fast, meaning that you are going to crash into an asteroid whether you want to or not, and the way the background moves and the odd perspective doesn't help with the precision you need to make it through an Earthworm Jim game. Seriously, all these lights and stuff are really starting to play with my brain, and soon I don't think I'll be able to function as a human being if I stare at this screen for too long. So, it's a remake and it promised some brand new features to bring to the table. What are they, and are they any good? Well, first and most probably unimportantly is a new online leaderboard. I guess if you like to feel good about yourself by being in the top 30 of a leaderboard, like I am, then this is right up your alley, as there are lots of different leaderboards, such as most points and time completed. Really, you just need to play this game a hell of a lot to get up to the top, which as you can tell by my score I unfortunately did when I first got it. There are hackers though, well, one, but screw them. Secondly, there are 4 extra levels, One is New Junk City 2, which is taken from the Sega CD Special Edition of the game, and is kinda fun to play in even if it is a bit short. The other 3 are levels made by Gameloft for the game. They are okay, but not quite up to the standard of the rest of the game's levels, but they are designed decently enough even if the bosses feel a bit out of place. Seriously, I'm fighting Keyboard Cat? Is this the internet or something? And what is this? Okay, I'm confused. But hey, I'm not complaining, extra crap to play through I suppose. Still doesn't make up for you not including Who Turned Out the Lights though, you bastards. Finally, there is a co-op mode which can be played both off and online, which is a very nice addition. Adds quite a lot of levels and are a lot of fun to play through, so good job Gameloft. However, if they got New Junk City 2 from Special Edition, I don't see why they forgot the other levels and additions it included as well, but co-op makes up for that I suppose. Now one final point I have of the game is the difficulty. Okay, so HD has 4 difficulty modes: easy, medium, hard and original, while Earthworm Jim, the original, has easy, medium and hard. Now I know what you're saying, why? HD has more difficulty modes. Surely that means it's the best of the 2 for the difficulty. Ha ha ha, if only. The original difficulty on HD is the equivalent to original's medium. Do you see the problem? Basically, all of HD's difficulty modes, apart from the original, are piss easy, especially if you've played Earthworm Jim a lot. Why didn't they include the original's hard mode? That's as hard as an immature penis joke I didn't put here. So, in conclusion, Earthworm Jim HD is a game which doesn't live up to the legacy of the original. Heavier controls, worse animation, pretty awesome backgrounds, fart noises added for no reason, missing levels, and a pretty good co-op mode. It's a mixed bag, and really it is hard to come to a conclusion whether or not I'd recommend it or not. Yes, it is only 800 Microsoft points, but there are a lot better games you can get for that money. If you've never played Earthworm Jim before, you'd be in for a fairly average platformer with some tricky areas and awesome music. For an Earthworm Jim fan, however, you'd be in for a good rush of nostalgia for a week or two, but then disappointment after that. So really it is up to you to decide.